Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my out-of-box review for the HG Gundam Age Shaldolll Rogue. Well, here we have the Gundam Age version of the Jesta in HG form, and yeah, obviously a lot of you guys, as have I, drawn this connection that this mobile suit looks very, very much like a Jesta, just because of its color scheme and its just kind of overall look. It's kind of just got that very angular look. It's relatively simple in its design, like a mass production type mobile suit. And so yes, it is going to, of course, look very much like a Jesta, but it also looks very much like the exact opposite of the GXS, the other HG Age kit that I just previously reviewed before this, that I will be kind of doing as a set. So just, I mentioned that before in the review of that one. I'm planning on just painting up the two of these like as a set to just kind of go together. So yeah, overall, pretty much everything that I said about the GXS, you can apply to this kit as well, except of course it is going to be a little bit different. It's different in terms of like the accessories. For the most part, the mobile suit is all pretty much exactly the same. There are some aesthetic differences. The shoulder armor is different, leg armor is a little bit different, barely. The backpack is going to be a little bit different. The head is obviously slightly different. But overall, yeah, going to be pretty much the same. And the GXS was a very, very good kit. This one is also a very, very good kit, if not better kit, dare I say? I don't know, but they're both really cool. I like them both probably equally, I suppose. There are things that I really love about both of them. And so let's get into talking about this one. In terms of the articulation is going to be pretty much exactly the same, of course, as the GXS. As I said, most of that stuff is all going to be exactly the same. In terms of the stickers are also almost exactly the same in that it really doesn't have a whole lot of stickers. Just got a couple stickers here on the head. So we've got a sticker for the visor part, and then for the head camera, and then one on the back of the head. The rest of the stickers are pretty much just these like black stickers here, which even though the plastic is a very dark color, we do have some black lining on the side, on the front and back of the shoulder armor, and on the front and back of the skirt armor, and then just one on the back of the legs, so actually less than on the GXS, but we have more stickers on the accessory. For this kit, one of its weapons is here, this beam axe. Now, yeah, overall, this is just one piece, and it's just all in gray, but you have 2 pink stickers for the 2 sides of the beam, and then 2 white stickers for the large part there. Not really too bad. Those are going to be really, really easy to just paint if you're going to be painting that. Very simple masking for that. This just fits into the hand normally. It looks like there's a place to actually store this on the kit, because you can see there's that hollow space there. It's only on one side. So it looks like maybe you can like plug that onto somewhere, like maybe on the back skirt, but no, actually there's nowhere to actually plug that onto anywhere on here, unfortunately. It's kind of strange that this kit here on the side of the legs has these ports here, but nothing to do for those. And on the top of the shoulders here, nothing to do with those. Maybe that has to do with a different version of this kit. Maybe a different version of this kit uses that. I really don't know about that, but at least this kit doesn't use those holes at all for anything. So if you're not actually using this beam axe here, you don't really have anywhere to store it on the kit. Now, anyway, back to the articulation. The head is able to look up to about there. We have that nice kind of skeleton looking face there. Of course, you have a couple of leftover parts. One of the leftover parts you do have is just the regular face of the regular Shaldoll. So if you want to use that, you don't want to use this kind of like skeleton looking face, you can use just the regular Shaldoll mask if you want. You can use that. Anyway, and then down very far there, you can almost like have him like looking straight into the chest there, almost too much. The shoulder will move forward and back that much, up, not really all that much, and so you can only move the arm up to about there before it's actually starting to slide off the peg there. So upward articulation of the arm is not really that much, but I think it's going to be okay. You can also then just rotate that and then bend it up like that. So yeah, a rotation at the top of the arm, double joint here, kind of the way the armor on the arm is, you kind of have to work that. It's not just very simple to bend that, but you can get a double joint there in the arm. Wrist is just on a ball joint. We just have the holding hand here. And then this one, I haven't noticed the same problem with the GXS. My kit kept coming apart here in these ball joints here in the center of the torso. This one I haven't noticed that quite as much, so that's good. But it does have a little bit of movement there. Of course, rotation. Here on the backpack, they have this like thruster in the center that doesn't really move. But what we have here on the top, I really like this design. This is really cool. Just how it kind of adds to the asymmetry of this. Here on the top, you have the beam saber handle. It's just a single one, and it just pops up like that. You can just fold that up, and then you can just pull that off. So, like with the GXS, the way that the beam saber handle is stored into the backpack, I was saying I was just worried about that scratching the paint. With this, you don't really have to worry about that because that just folds up and that just slides down like that. So that's really cool. You can also, you can turn this and rotate it pretty much any way that you want. So if you wanted to have it going the other way, you can do that. Or if you want to have it straight back, if you are trying to have a little bit more symmetrical look to that, you can just have it straight back like that. But overall, it's a really cool design. I think it's definitely unique, a little thing, but it's cool. For the front skirts, I haven't clipped these apart. If you watched my review of the GXS, I clipped the front skirts apart, and they were actually then kind of made too loose. So for this one, I just didn't bother with that. I just kept them together. So these front skirts will move together. You can clip them apart, and they'll still stay in there, but they'll be very loose, so just be prepared to just do some glue or paint or putty on that just to stiffen those up. Unlike the GXS, the side skirt armors here are just side skirt armors. There's no like missiles or anything in the side skirts, but they're just kind of really quite thick kind of side skirts there. Very big blocky pieces there for the side skirts, but they're kind of nice for the back skirt here as well. We have the same kind of storage mechanism here on the back skirt, but there's nothing to actually store there, so nothing really going on with that. The hip joint will swing side to side and up and down, so a very nice hip joint there. And then of course you can rotate the legs at the top. Double joint here in the knee, gives you a really full bend there with some nice knee armor separation there. Ankle armor, no problem moving side to side to get a really super wide stance. And then forward and back is not that much, but pretty good, I think. And then under the feet, some nice detail there, which is a little bit of hollow at the toes. So I just wanted to quickly test how wide you can actually get this to stand while being flat-footed. And it looks like maybe you can go just about to there. So check that out. That's a pretty wide stance to have flat feet. Not many kits can actually do that. And then I guess we can just talk about the hand here. Obviously there's no articulation built in with the cannon arm, but that just fits onto there. If you don't want to actually use that, you do have just the regular wrist cuff armor there and a regular holding hand for that. So you can have it just symmetrical with just two hands if you want. Another bit of extra parts that you have is the shield. It's the full shield here. We have the inner part and the outer part, obviously. So you could use that with this kit if you want. You have that, or you can give it to a different kit. I haven't quite decided if I want to actually use this with this kit or not. I think I kind of like it without it, seeing as how this just is supposed to have that different look to it. But I don't know. So anyway, we'll just keep the gun on here for now. So of course this does only have the one beam saber handle, but we do have the two beam saber blades. So you can keep one for this kit and then give one to a different kit if you want. And then the only other accessory that I haven't talked about yet here is the open hand. So like with the GXS, it's the same open hand. It's a really, really nice looking open hand. I really quite like that a lot. Of course, would have been nice to have two, but just the one is okay. So yeah, since I've been talking about it a lot, here's an actual look at the two kits together. I'm not going to paint them in these exact colors, and I'm not going to paint them in matching colors, like I'm not going to paint them both the same color, but I am going to paint them in two different colors, but it probably won't be just like this very dark blue and white like this. It'll probably be like a one like a pastel green, and then the other one like a pastel peach color or something like that. I'm thinking kind of like not your average kind of colors. So anyway, I think that'll be really cool, but you can see just how similar they are, almost identical in terms of like a lot of their designs, like the torso, the arms, the legs, the feet are all pretty much exactly the same, except just the head, the shoulders, and the armaments. So I think it'll be a really cool set of them together. Now, as much as I really like both of the designs, one reason why I think maybe I like the Shaldolll Rogue just a little bit more than the GXS is that it does have a little bit more versatility and like uniqueness with it, with like the cannon arm or the ability to make just the regular arm like this if you want. It still has the beam saber You can have 2 beam sabers like the GXS, you can have 2, but like I said in that review, I'm not really too interested in that. I don't usually like that. This one doesn't have the shield, but it does also have the beam axe as well you can use, and actually does have the shield. You can use that if you want. So I think there's just a little bit more options in this one, and I think just a little bit more uniqueness overall. Like, there's not much different, but in terms of what is different, like for example, the head has that kind of really cool like skull look to it there with the faceplate like that. That's pretty rare. I think there's very few mobile suits that exist in all of the Gundam universe that have that sort of look to the head. Well, I guess the same thing could be said for the GXS with its kind of like wolf ears. So it also has a very unique head. But the shoulders as well, the shoulders for the GXS are a little bit more kind of standard, kind of like Gundam type kind of mobile suit shoulders. These ones are definitely a little bit more unique with that very box-like design and that kind of like high ridge of that kind of mechanical looking part there on the top of the shoulders. So it definitely has that kind of more grunty kind of look to it, whereas the GXS definitely looks like a little bit more of like a sort of like ace grunt kind of mobile suit. But anyway, both of them are really awesome, as you can tell, I just really like this kit. In terms of the negatives of this kit, it's really, again, pretty much exactly the same as the GXS. It really doesn't have too many negatives. Just that there's a few seam lines on there, but really not too much. Like the top of the shoulders, there's a seam. On the back of the legs, there's a seam there, and that's pretty much. And on the weapon, on the cannon arm, there's a seam there. So that's pretty much it. There's going to be just a very little bit of like masking and painting you're going to have to do if you are going to be doing that for this kit. If you are going to be painting it, just a couple little black stripes on there. Again, that's all if you are going for the like actual official color scheme too. You don't have to really paint any of that if you don't want to. And then like I said, those like little square like ports and like the size of the legs and the top of the shoulders, I think you could very easily turn those into plugs where you could actually like plug in some new kind of weapons or accessories or something like that. It would be very easy to just make some, just use like some parts of a runner, just make some like square pegs, and you can plug some stuff into there to give this some more accessories or other weapons or other customization options there. So definitely a very cool kit with very few negatives. So that's going to pretty much do it for my review of the HG Shaldolll Rogue. Really great kits, and yeah, really happy to have this. And it was quite cheap as well. I think if it's 1,400 yen, something like that. What is it? 1,300 yen. So definitely recommend checking this out. To pick one up. You could even pick up a couple of them, make a little team of them, do something that's pretty cool. Yeah, so what do you guys think about the HGH kits? Like I said, this is only the 3rd HGH kit that I've ever built. All 3 of them I've really enjoyed. But I do have one more HGH kit that I have in my collection that I want to review for you guys. And that is one of the enemy mobile suits. So we'll take a look at that. It's definitely a little bit more different. I want to review that one for you guys next. So that'll just be kind of 3 HGH kits in a row. You guys can take a look at those, and then we'll take a break and move on to something else anyway. So I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for the HG Voile, the Iron Blood Orphans review. I'll have that coming for you guys soon, but just please be patient on that. I'm trying to just work on some other things, just change it up for a little bit. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you have any other questions or comments, leave those down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.